Middle years to wiser years. This life stage is an opportunity to age well, to engage with your health through diet, supplementation and activity that supports a vital health span. Life expectancy is over double that of the Victorian era, and according to the World Health Organization, in 2050 it is estimated that over 2 billion of the world's population will be over 60. Yet despite the greater lifespan, we do not seem to be gaining a greater health span. Interestingly, there is some crossover between our key nutritional needs at this later stage in our lives and what was important during puberty. For example, calcium is just as vital now to preserve our strong bones as it was when our bodies were growing them. Omega-3s were essential for brain development, and now they are central to brain protection. Far from being a negative stage of life to fear, the period from our mid-40s onwards is a time when we can feel reconnected to ourselves and empowered to be an active part in our own self-care. What is aging? Aging is happening to us all, from birth. It is not something we can stop, despite a culture that encourages us to stay forever young. In fact, healthy aging is something to be respected and valued. In traditional cultures, the elders of communities are revered for their wisdom and knowledge of traditional practices that will keep the communities well. Scientifically speaking, aging is a progressive decline in the efficiency of biochemical and physiological processes. It is thought, in part, to be predetermined in our genes. However, it is perhaps more greatly influenced by our exposure to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is, very simply, an imbalance between the rate at which we repair damage within the body cells and tissues, caused and restored by free radical and antioxidant processes respectively. Free radicals are oxygen-containing molecules that circulate around the body, borrowing electrons from other molecules and causing damage, whereas antioxidants are molecules that can donate an electron to the electron-seeking free radical without getting damaged themselves, thereby rendering the free radical more stable and less reactive. When there are more free radicals than antioxidants over a prolonged period of time, the rate of aging or deterioration speeds up. Oxidative stress is a natural internal process that is just par for the course. However, it is also caused by lifestyle factors such as environmental pollutants, nutrient-poor diets, diets high in sugar or trans fats, and stress. It can accumulate over our life cycles and is associated with degenerative diseases including cardiovascular disease, cancer and neurodegenerative diseases. It can damage DNA, inhibit the repair processes in the body and shorten telomeres, the shoelace caps, that protect cells from deterioration. Natural changes occur in the competence of our immune system. At this stage too, with a slow decline in the generation of lymphoid tissue, a significant part of our immune system, our response to and tolerance of infection is less robust, as is our ability to moderate inflammation. This can mean we are more prone to low-grade inflammation, which can speed up the aging process and is now called inflammaging. A growing body of research is showing us that inflammation is a root cause of many health risks at this life stage, including dementia, cancer, cardiovascular disease, arthritis and depression. We also know that, as we age, we become less responsive to vaccination against disease and that the most effective way to help our immune response is by paying attention to diet, nutrition and other principles of healthy living, such as supplementation, exercise and stress relief. When you look at it like this, taking the right supplements to ensure our needs are met looks far less like a luxury and much more like preventative care. While there is no way to halt or reverse the natural aging process, nutrition and lifestyle interventions have the potential to actively promote healthy aging, reduce inflammaging and disease risk. How we eat and live has been shown to have a profound effect on the aging process. This interaction between the way that we eat and our genes is known as nutrigenomics. These middle years are when women experience significant hormonal shifts, the perimenopause and, finally, the menopause. Perimenopause is the period of time leading up to your final menstruation. It can last for a few months or several years. During this time, your periods may become irregular as your estrogen and progesterone levels decrease, and you may experience menopausal symptoms. Postmenopause is the time after menopause starting, from when you have not had a period for 12 consecutive months, and particularly the effects of the fluctuating levels of estrogen in the body. Life changes for men too. Hormonal shifts, predominantly in testosterone, mean that men can experience an increase in fat mass, a decline in muscle mass and a change to cognitive health. This is called the andropause. This stage of life for men and women can be mindfully managed with positive lifestyle factors, such as a good diet, supplements and appropriate activity. This can support immediate symptoms associated with the menopause and andropause and the inconveniences of aging generally, but also address some longer-term health concerns, such as a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis and Alzheimer's. Practicing relaxation methods for just 10 to 20 minutes a day has been shown to activate genes that prevent cell aging, control blood sugar and deactivate the genes responsible for chronic inflammation. Finding joy and regular laughter activates protective genes within the body which help repair cells and initiate healthy immunity, essential. At a time when we are more prone to inflammation, activity levels at this life stage should be around 150 minutes. Spread over a 1-week period and include weight-bearing activities for at least 2 sessions. Exercising outside and in company is the best approach. It will improve exposure to sunlight and therefore build up vitamin D, as well as supporting mood and sleep patterns. Adequate sleep is crucial on a molecular level. Sleep deprivation can affect the activity of more than 700 genes, activating those involved in inflammation, immunity and protein damage and turning off those responsible for tissue regeneration. These changes occur when people sleep less than 6 hours a night. Numerous studies have shown the benefit of eating a Mediterranean-style diet on the aging process. Its natural richness in colorful plant foods, healthy oils and lean protein sources, such as fish, pulses and seeds, makes it the ideal foundation for healthy living and aligns with my health philosophy. It has been linked with lower mortality rates, reduced onset of multiple chronic diseases and improved cognitive function. In fact, one large study found that following a Mediterranean diet for 1 year improved the health of participants' microbiomes, see the section on digestion below, as well as significantly increasing levels of cytokines, substances released by the immune system to moderate inflammation. Good digestion. We are fast learning that good digestion is at the heart of good health. The gut is where we absorb nutrients, produce nutrients and serotonin, eliminate toxins and, to put it one way, empty our dustbin daily. Indeed, 70% of the immune system is in the tissue of the gut and therefore it is pivotal in the moderation of inflammation. However, it's important to know that our microbial diversity reduces with age, shifting more to an imbalance of less favorable than favorable bacteria and yeast, known as dysbiosis. Studies on centenarians show that the greater diversity of beneficial bacteria within the gut tissue, specifically bifidobacterium, a specific group of probiotic bacteria, the longer the lifespan. This may be because bifidobacterium species can actually reduce inflammation in places where it may be too high, and therefore reduce the negative impact it has on the rate of aging. The foods that form the cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet have been shown to promote good gut health, and epidemiological evidence also demonstrates that the longest living populations around the world often have a diet rich in fermented products, such as kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, kefir, but also rich in color and fiber. In these places, if meat is eaten, it is often slow-cooked to aid digestion. How can we improve gut health for better aging? Eating a good mix of fruit and vegetables is always important, and particularly at this stage of life, not least because they are generally low in fat and high in fiber. Many studies have shown that people who consume diets high in fruit and vegetables have a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes and some forms of cancer. As rich sources of antioxidants, such as vitamin C and carotenoids, they can also help to counter the oxidative process of aging. Adults are recommended to have at least 30 grams of fiber daily. Adults are recommended to have at least 30 grams of fiber daily. Average intakes are well below recommendations, with women managing only around 17 grams of dietary fiber per day. And while having a high fiber diet may reduce the risk of heart disease, type 2, diabetes and bowel cancer at any age, this becomes especially relevant at this life stage when muscle tone naturally decreases and contractions in the gut, also known as peristaltic movement, can slow down. When waste matter becomes harder to excrete, it will remain in the gut for longer. Therefore, consuming enough fruit and veg can also support regular bowel movements and reduce the risk of constipation. A good thing to remember is to keep skins on vegetables and eat as wide a variety of colors of vegetables and fruit as possible each day. As we age, our sense of taste, smell and strength of appetite can change. There is also a change in the number of digestive enzymes we produce, and therefore breaking down food and absorbing the nutrients from our food effectively can be harder. Eating little and often and adding herbs and spices to your meals can increase the appeal, but it can also help with stimulating the right digestive juices to absorb food. For example, Black pepper, ginger and fennel seeds can promote the production of salivary and digestive enzymes, whereas turmeric, cinnamon and fenugreek can help stabilize blood glucose levels after eating. Rosemary and turmeric have been used traditionally by those suffering inflammatory conditions, and sage to support memory and brain function. Experiment with textures of food as well so that the jaw can chew. Chewing stimulates the release of saliva and therefore the production of salivary enzymes for breaking down food. Protein. Healthy consumption of protein is also important. After the age of around 30, we lose an average of 3 to 5% of muscle every decade, but at over 60 years of age, this rate increases. Protein is a vital building block for healthy muscle generation and bone health, making up a major part of the mass and volume, and creating a meshwork of fibers that lay the foundation for growth. Think of protein as the scaffolding on which calcium and phosphorus then form bone around. Protein sources also provide a good supply of antioxidants and amino acids, some of which increase cognition and improve heart rate. Some amino acids, including NAC, acetyl L-carnitine, taurine, methionine and cysteine, are also thought to have a positive impact on protecting against degenerative diseases, including type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's, and even prematurely graying hair and hair loss. However, as our bodies age, we become less efficient at processing protein. So it is recommended to increase your protein intake by 50% after the age of 50, which means an average of 82 g for women and 97 grams for men. The best way of getting this is through your diet, but reduced appetite can make this more challenging than at other age stages. Therefore, supplementing with a quality protein powder can be beneficial. The importance of hydration. Water is vital for digestion, nutrient absorption, joint lubrication and temperature regulation. Not drinking enough water is common in older adults, but it can contribute to several health problems, including increased risk of falls, constipation, urinary tract infections and cognitive impairment. Water and warm drinks such as herbal tea are obviously key, but also consuming hydrating foods, such as soups, fruits and vegetables can help to prevent dehydration, as well as ultimately supporting overall health and well-being.